Okay, here's how to play Lover's Eyes. It's kind of a tough one to explain, I realized, because I just tried to teach it. I'm going to try again because it didn't turn out too well. The first thing you need to do is tune to open D tuning. So I'll start on the bottom string. So that needs to be D. There we go, D. And then the next string stays A. D string stays D. The G string needs to go to F sharp. The B string needs to be tuned down to A. And the top string needs to be tuned down to D. And the reason that's called open D tuning is because the three notes in a D major chord are D, F sharp, A. So since all these strings are D, F sharp, or A, then when you strum, you have a D major chord. So one more time, this needs to be D, A, D, F sharp, A, and D. And then I play with a pick. I think this song would be possible to play with with your fingers. But I think they're playing with a pick. It sounds more like a pick, but however you want to do it. So I'll play along the first part and then explain sort of what I'm doing. So you kind of start picking. Like a bunch of times. So there's a tab in the description of this video that's really helpful, and take a look at it. And what you want to notice is sometimes it goes like this in the bass, and sometimes it just goes back and forth between two notes. So first I would scan through it, and if you look at it, you'll see like what I'm talking about. Or sometimes it's doing to the A string, from the D string to the A string. And sometimes it just goes like, when it goes 2, 0, 2 to 4. And then you gotta go down to these guys. So the hard part is learning how to switch, and what you want is like down on this note and up on the higher ones. So I think one way that will kind of help you to get the feel of it is if you start on the first two and you just learn this. Whoops, sorry. Learn how to do that. So you start here with your middle finger on 2, you do an up pick, then you do a down pick here, and then you do 0 on the D string, the middle D string, back to here, and then you do a quick slide from 2 to 4 with an up pick, and then you go down to here, down, and then up on the A string. So it's like, it feels so weird when you go real slow. So after the slide, then you go down, up, down, back up to 4. So I learned that first, just how to go. Once you got that, then you kind of look at the tab again and see that there's going to be other sections like that. So then the next one more time, I'll do the part after this. Whoops. Then the next part, you're going to go 4, 5 slide. Wow, wow, wow. And these are fast slides, so. And again, make sure you're doing up on this note. Because if you start switching between down up here, and you kind of want to, with stuff like this, you want to pick like a strategy for the picking. So it should be up on 4. So 4 to 5 slide. Back to 4. And then 4 to 7 slide. And you stay on 7. So that was... So it feels like the first one, but it's different notes. So 4. Sorry. You started on 4 to 5. All right. So I learned that one. Ah. If you watch my pick, it's real important just to be doing up, 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 and then you gotta do this part. Then after that, you got 5, 4, 2. The final 2 slides are slower than the first ones. It's like... When you listen to it and you play along, you'll start to get a feel like those earlier slides are like... These ones are like... They're a little slower. So I'll play through one final time. If anyone has questions, let me know. Really just kind of got to focus on when to do ups and downs. And then you really need to look at the tab for this and then just break it down slow. Also, like for the very beginning, it comes in on 2, not really on... What I do is just kind of noodle around like this, and then I'll wait for the 2. I usually miss it because there's not really a good cue for it, but here we go. So you kind of noodle around, there's some noise. Strum. All of a sudden, those are slower. I think what I'm doing on the slower slides, I'm going. I'm actually dropping a note out, I think. I'm going. Which might be a little wrong, but that's how I've been doing it. So what I'm doing on those last ones is... Otherwise you have to do a faster slide. Then after that, the verse starts... I think around 1 minute. Yeah. It's exactly the same as the intro, except you stay on 2. So look at the tab, it's easier than the intro. So if you can play the intro, the verse is easier because you're just going to stay on 2 at the end. That happens at like 102, and then the next part starts at 130. So I'll play this next part and then explain. This is easy. I disagree with in this tab is he has the 9th fret in there. I think it just goes 5. Whoops. 5 here on the bottom string and then the D, and you just go down, up. You just go 5. 0. 7. 0. 5, 0, 7. You do that 4 times, I think. just go back and forth between 5, 0, 7, and then you strum all the strings. And then you do like a what feels like an E7 chord. Make sure, like, the more I play this, it sounds better if you strum all the strings. So you gotta do kind of big strums. I'm going like down, down. We're going down, down. Down, down, and down, up, down, up, really faint. And then I put this down, down, up, down, up. Down, 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 up, down, up. Down, up, down. And then the up, I think it comes in on up. It comes in on up, so it's down, 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 up, down, up, down, up, down, up, up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up. That's how I'm doing that part. So you do that for a while. And then the verse is kind of like the intro, the next part. Next part goes. The timing exact, but it's pretty much you just do the top notes from the intro and from the intro verse. So it's like 2, 0, 2 to 4, 5, 4, 7. And it's all on the D string, and I'm using my middle finger. 5, 4, 2. And you go 2 to 4, 2, 0. When I come down here, I think it sounds a little better to mute this out with your thumb. You don't have to on the very last part of it. So that's that part. So hopefully that makes sense. So you can see that those notes. Those notes on the D string are the same as like the notes in the intro. The next part is the chorus. It's pretty easy. What you do is put your middle finger on 5 and your ring finger on 5 on the G string. You're gonna go like. So we gotta make sure you look at the tab, but it goes 5s, 0, 7, 0. Do that again. 5, 0, 7. On the G string. 0, 7, 0. same stuff we've seen. There's a little tricky strumming. So I walk slow, you go zeros, and then the 7 thing. 0, 9, 8, 5, 5. And then they start. So I find this is a hard technique for beginners. Mumford & Sons, they love this technique, so you kind of got to do is make sure you keep these fingers out, these 3, and you kind of bounce your hand on the strings. So it's like, so you start with zeros. Down, 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 up, down. But those down, up, downs are kind of light on the top strings. So it goes 0, 7, 0, then the 9, 8, 5. And I do that a few times, and then they just straight up strum like. Thing we already saw, where you play the intro melody with your middle finger on the D string. So and that's it. That's the whole song. So I kind of have a hard time explaining that one because it's got a lot of technique in it that is a little bit tricky. So if anyone has questions, let me know.